Welcome back to TML Weekly. This is post game one, round one, Battle of Ontario. Big 6-2 win for the Leafs. We got a special guest on the show tonight.
Hello.
Introduce yourself.
Oh, I thought you were talking about me.
Oh no. We've got we are in what year two of TML Weekly, and it's taken 40 shows and a couple of playoff rounds. But yes, Kara Grace has finally made an appearance tonight. Kara Grace is in the building.
Yep.
Jack was gonna come on with us, but he's been asleep since about halfway through the third.
That's you know what? It's late in Atlantic Canada. We'll give him a pass.
Well, and he got up at 6:30 to hunt for. We were up till Jack and I watched both games last night. 1:45, went to bed, and he's up at 6:30 sniffing around for chocolate.
Yeah, you know what? The Easter Bunny missed our house this year for the first time in years.
Yeah.
But so listen. Let's talk about tonight, Nolan. If you could have picked a way for the Leafs to come out and start this postseason, could you have picked a better way?
No, honestly, just capitalized on the chances, threw a lot of hits in the first. I kind of wish they had more shots. I think they had 5 through the first period, but overall, no better start you could have asked for, up 2-0. And
Well, at the end of the day, let's face it, Ottawa. I mean, I've got some notes here how Ottawa handed this game to Toronto. I mean, Toronto was great. They did what I liked. I mentioned it earlier in our group chat. I liked the start. I liked the physicality from all four units in the first maybe 6-7 minutes.
100%.
They were pounded, absolutely pounding, and then they get the goal, get the first one, and then they get the second one, and they stop moving their feet in the offensive zone. Right? They start backing up and instead of staying in attack mode. And you know, that's what's got you the 2-goal lead. If you keep playing like that, it's 4-0 and the game's over. But you kind of let your foot off the gas and let them back in. But Ottawa took 4 penalties in the offensive zone tonight. 4.
Stupid.
4. You shouldn't have 4 penalties in the offensive zone in a series.
Yeah.
Let alone in a game. And then Toronto answered with their power play.
I think that leads to that's the inexperience from the Sens, not being in the playoffs. Like Stützle, Tkachuk, Sanderson, all those guys.
Yeah, it's leadership. It's leadership.
It's
I've questioned Brady Tkachuk's leadership for the last several years, and it was evident tonight. Stützle, my 10-year-old, 11-year-old Jack, and the kids that I coach at his age, if one of them misses a shot and he hits stick against the glass on his way back to the bench, he won't see the ice again.
You're sitting.
And they're 10, 11 years old. They know. Right?
Okay,
Stützle's doing it in the NHL. Biggest flopper in the league, and now he's, so that leadership, right? I thought maybe Giroux would be able to handle stuff like that. That's not a good look. You guys go on. I got some more stuff, but
so listen though. Here's what I will say. Kara and I talked. We did the pregame tonight, and we said tonight before the game got started, the difference in the game is going to be Ottawa is going to do stupid shit. They are. And it's a matter of whether or not the Leafs could contain themselves, allow the nonsense to take place, and adjust. And I will say this. Listen, the start to the game was great. OEL on that goal, fantastic. Listen, you can't expect to have goals come from the point, but when they do come, boy, are they important. And what I will say, and this is a point that Kara made, and I think she's bang on. In the second period, it was 8-9 minutes in, and there was a play behind the net. We were up 3-1 at this point, and there was a scrum behind the net, and it was Willie and Tavares in the middle of the scrum. And Kara looked at me and she said, "Dad, when was the last time you saw Nylander and Willie leading, not in a scrum, leading the scrum behind the net?" And I said to her at that point in time, I said, "This is a different team."
Well, if you want to play for Craig Berube, you're going to have to get involved in things like that when the time is right, or you're just not going to play for him, right?
And Kara, so hold on. What did you say when he called the timeout? Remember the timeout that Berube called? Kara looked at me as soon as the timeout that got called, and the first thing she said was, "This never would have happened before."
Yeah.
That was great play.
It never. And you know what? They were on the ice for, was it a minute and change?
Yeah.
They were on before, and the second penalty gets called, and Berube calls the timeout. And in that moment, you knew, like, at least for me, and when we were watching the game, and Karen and I just sat there and we just went, I don't even if we don't score, it's the right call. That was the exact right time to make the exact right call. Even if the puck doesn't, listen, if the puck doesn't go in the net and we burn the timeout, it is still the right call to make. The fact that the puck went in, man, that's added bonus. But I thought in that moment, man, it was absolutely everything that I wanted to see from this team. The coach made the right call. The players executed the call, and it was right. Didn't they score right beforehand? Didn't they score? Like, wasn't it 2-1 at that point? And wasn't that the third goal?
They went 3 and then 4.
They went 3-1, right? And it was right after, and like it was like 2 or 3 minutes after the goal went in to make it 2-1 or whatever. It was close. And I thought, man, that's a team that's there. I've said this all year, and I love that this is what we've seen tonight. We're different. This is a different Maple Leafs team this year, and I love it. I love it, boys.
Yeah, a couple more notes from me here. We're just going to do a quick hit here. I'll start, and then we'll go down the line and kind of let me know your thoughts, and then what's going to happen in the next one. We'll thank our sponsors too, Bjorn and Don Cherries, for helping us out always. So I had the Stützle. If Travis Green doesn't address that, I mean the kid's a fantastic hockey player. But the flopping around, he dove on I don't know if you noticed there was a call on the breakaway. He dove. When he hit the ice, he's looking at the referee before he even hit the ice.
I saw it too.
Tripped there. He's rolling and he's not looking at the referee. Right?
On Twitter during the game. During the game, I saw Sens fans complaining about Matthews diving from that cross check behind.
Yeah. I mean, he got railed from behind.
Maybe Ekman Larson on the last one. Maybe Ekman Larson maybe embellished a little bit on the last one. Oh well, right? Stützle flops around like a soccer player half the time, right?
Yeah.
Then you've got I don't think Tkachuk's 100%. Okay, and I'm going to tell you why. Because in a game like that, when you're down 3, 4, 5 goals, whatever it was, he's running around. Right, Johnny, he's on the ice.
You didn't notice him, did you? No, you didn't notice the nonsense.
He's on the ice at the end with 42 seconds after that scrum. Travis Green called him. He said, "Come to the bench." Right?
You know what's fun, John? You know what's funny? Kara said that in the game.
Could have set them up for the next series by doing something that Tkachuk does or whatever in that last.
Did you not say that about Tkachuk though?
Yeah.
Tkachuk was MIA tonight.
Yeah.
MIA tonight. And
you barely even noticed him.
You barely noticed him at all. And
well, you're going to notice him at home more because they'll get a favorable matchup. That's not a good matchup for Ottawa.
Yeah, but still, if you're the star player on your team, it shouldn't matter if you're home or not.
100%. I thought Riley had a tough start. I thought he wasn't very good. He gave one away for a breakaway. Stoley bailed him out, and I thought he should have won that battle on the first Ottawa goal. But he stepped up, got one to the net, and he looked good in the third. Stoller's obviously solid. I'm going to make a prediction. I think you're going to see Forsberg in game 2 for Ottawa. I didn't think that Linus Ullmark gave them a chance. There was
6 goals in 24 shots.
Okay, so hold on though. I want to give Kara a chance to make a point here.
Yeah,
because it was the first period, second period, and we went up 3-1. And what did you say about Ullmark and pulling the goalie?
Oh yeah, that literally with the amount of it was 9 shots and 3 goals.
Yeah.
At that point, you should have pulled the goalie.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
2 on the first 4 too.
Yeah.
Well, there's times at that point when that'll give your team a boost, whether or not.
Especially on the road, though. Especially on the road, you're in a hostile building. I thought that was a mistake by Green. It was funny. Kara said to me, she was like, Dad, I think they got to pull the goalie. And I was like, pull the goalie? What are we talking about? She was like, no. Like, you got to get somebody new in. And I went, that's not a bad decision.
Given them a better chance.
Yeah.
It
wasn't their guy, though.
It's the right call. In retrospect, it would have been the right call.
So Gaudette runs Matthews from behind, and then when he has a chance to go with Domi to answer the bell, he runs around like a chicken shit. Clevin is sucker punching guys in a scrum, and he runs around like a chicken shit. And then Ridley Gregg, we've talked about him for 2 years. He cross checks the JT in the head in the first period.
And hold on, and, I'm just saying. Listen, I got to say this because I'm going to be every single Maple Leafs fan in the world. If it was the other way around, and you cross check a guy in the face, and it goes to a review, there is absolutely zero chance, if that was the Leafs, that you were not getting 5.
I'm okay with
that. No chance in the world.
Playoffs.
No chance. It doesn't matter. If it was the Leafs, he gets 5. He probably gets 5 in a game.
Playoffs, he gets 2.
I'm not buying it. I've seen it too many times.
If they call that a major, then the game has gone too far the other way. But at the end of the day, I'm going to wrap my piece up here.
Yeah,
we talked about this. How does Toronto make progress and make steps in the postseason? Their best players are their best players.
Oh,
and they were.
What did you say tonight about Mitch Marner? What did you say about Mitch Marner?
What?
That he had to be the best player, and he was great tonight.
Yeah.
Mitch Marner. Listen,
Guys was fantastic. I thought Domi was real good. Heavy. I thought they were good. I thought they played a good team game. It's a great start to the series, but you got to forget about it and come back with your work boots on Tuesday night and start the same way and stay disciplined and mix it up at the end when it's 6-2.
Loved it.
I don't want to see this. I don't want to see the BS. Because Ottawa's going to try to drag you in there. Stay out of it. Score on the power play. Boom. Get on it and get out of here in 4 or 5 and let Florida and Tampa beat the snot out of each other for 7, and it gives you a chance, right?
So listen,
that's all I got. Nolan, you go next. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so I was just looking at the stats of the game. So obviously, big 6-2 win. It seems really dominant, but the Sens outshot us 33-24, out-hit us 56-30, and then we went 3 for 6 on the power play. Like, do you think that's a sustainable thing? I don't think you're going to get 6 power plays every game and be going 50%. So what do you think we need to do like next game and moving forward to?
No,
I think the hit number is because Toronto had the puck a lot.
Yeah.
Right?
But just the 3 for 6 power play, like 50%.
Yeah, they missed some nets. Yeah, I'm okay with the stat line. I really am. But yeah, you can't be reliant on scoring.
But listen, what has killed this team in the playoffs in years gone by is the inability to score on the power play.
I think we had one last year against Boston.
So let's look at this in a pot. Like, I'm going to choose to be positive here. Okay. The Leafs at the end of the season, listen, remember when we were in November and December and we were like 12 or 13% on the power play and we were all wondering what the hell's going on and how can we do this? If you actually look at the Leafs power play from January 1st onward, it is a solid hockey stick. Okay. We're going in the right direction. You do not want to give this Maple Leaf team a power play because we will score. And that, my friend, could be the absolute difference in this series. I loved it tonight. And above all else, and I'm going to give a shout out before we go tonight. There's one guy who I really noticed tonight, and I think he's been slept on, is the Pope. Pontus Holmberg, man. That guy tonight may have played his best game as a Maple Leaf. He was, every time he was on the ice tonight, and it wasn't a lot, but every time he was on the ice, he made the right decision. And it was, and again, if you're not familiar and you're looking at Holmberg, he didn't score, John. He didn't do, you know what? He got the puck in deep when he had to. When he was in his own zone, he made the little chip up the boards and got the puck out. Those are the plays that you need to have from a fourth line player who's on the ice in nominal time and he's making the right decisions. And then when he did get the chance in the offensive zone boy, he was strong on the cycle. He was keeping the puck down low, cycling it down. There was a couple times in that first period when I went, holy, like, where's this guy been all year? The Pope was great tonight. I love Pontus Holmberg.
All right, I'm going to cut you off right there. We hear you all the time. We want to hear what Kara has to say.
All right, that's a good point. Kara Grace,
wrap
who'd
up
you
the
like
game,
tonight?
Kara, you wrap up the show. Get us ready for Tuesday night. Wise words here. Let's go,
Okay,
kid.
so basically, I think the best person on the team for the whole night was Stolarz, just strictly because, like, even though, like, we didn't get a lot of shots in the first period and we were just getting, like, annihilated by Ottawa, the thing is Stolarz always plays better when he's outshot. And that's just been
like shots. They like work, and as long as they can see the puck, they would prefer to get
staying active.
30 shots. Yeah.
And he's oh my.
There was a couple of 10 many saves.
Oh my god! But and I think we both noticed is the two shots that Ottawa had. I think it was like they missed one, they missed two, and then they got the third one in.
Yeah, it was rebounds and
like
and there was a lot of times that he made a save and Tkachuk or somebody was right there and he absorbed it. And
he'd want the first one back for sure.
Real good point, Kara.
Tough play
on the goaltending. What did Toronto has to do, Kara, to win game 2? What do you think? Give me 3 points.
They just gotta literally all they have to do is come out the exact same way that they did. They came out and they acted like they wanted to play. Like
100%.
Like
power play?
Yeah, like literally I don't even think we had to change anything. We just had to play the exact same way we did. Like just keep on the pressure. Like I think at first there were a couple of times where we were a little iffy, but like
You're nervous, right? You're nervous. All the pressure's on Toronto in this series. There's none on Ottawa. They're playing with house money. They weren't in at Christmas time, right? But good point. Yep.
Yeah. And then I think just like the coaching, like our coach has changed our team 100%. The way they're playing and the way they're hitting, taking hits and actually hitting people.
100%.
It's
how you win in the playoffs.
Literally, yeah. Like, yeah.
Awesome.
And it was just like, the timeout too, like just like the little things that he was doing just made, I think, the difference in it. I don't know. Look
at that comment from my oldest daughter, Robin. I hope Tkachuk, Greg, and Gadet have a horrible night. Love it.
Robin, shout out to Robin. That is the comment of the night. I agree, Robin, 100%.
Yeah, we have a group chat. I have a group chat with Madison and Robin, and we're going back and forth, and they get a little fired up at some of the shenanigans, but they're true blue for sure. Grew up in it, and Any final words, Nolan? You got anything?
No, I'm just gonna ask about any lineup changes, but I don't think you change anything.
I mean, a couple of guys. I mean, a little concerned about Nice's hand, but he came right out and scored on the next shift.
Is anybody concerned about Stolarz and the stretch?
Yeah.
Stolarz and that stretch there.
He wasn't coming out no matter what.
But I'm a little worried. I'd like to hear that everything's okay with Stolarz after, because that stretch looked a lot like way too long.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, that's the playoffs though. And you know what? You got to a wall. If he's banged up a little bit, you don't have Samsonov like Vegas does.
No, but listen, it was funny when we did Coach's Corner with Kara Grace tonight. Kara said on the show, she said, "Listen, if something happens to Stolarz, we got Wall. It's not like we're going to Nolan to go between the pipes, right? Like
hey, now you've never seen Nolan play goal.
That's also fair. That's also fair. But nonetheless, we've got option. Like it's not like the world would end." Right? It's not like we're in disaster zone. No. And so just before we get out of here, I just want to tell everybody when you leave TML Weekly tonight, the main event of WrestleMania is currently on right now. We have John Cena going to break the record, for Ric Flair for all-time championships against Cody Rhodes right now. Wow. John, I know you're excited.
I wonder if he's going to win.
I know you're excited. It's going down tonight. We've got it already. Kara, who's winning? John Cena or Cody Rhodes?
John Cena.
John Cena. Let's go, John Cena. We're in 100%.
And to all you Leaf fans out there, it's one game.
Yes.
Okay? No parades or anything like that. It's. I look at it as, if it's a 16 game stepping stone, right? You got to get to that 16 win. And you're not going to win 16 in a row. There's going to be adversity. There's going to be injuries. There's going to be a bad period, a bad bounce. But it's a great start, right?
And above all else, and listen, if you've been watching this show for very long, you knew I couldn't let this go. You guys know where I'm going with this. I don't know if anybody saw the early game today, but it was New Jersey playing against Carolina. And it was the easiest money that you've ever made in your entire life. Surprise, surprise. New Jersey wasn't ready to play and got outshot 17-5 or 17-6 in the first period and got blown out. All I'm saying is I don't ever want to hear from anybody that Sheldon Keefe is a legitimate coach. Look at what Craig Berube did tonight and look at what Sheldon Keefe did today. Go Leafs, go.
We'll see you Tuesday.
Yep.